Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm gonna be giving you part 13 of What If Naruto Was Given a Second Chance. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto Learned the Clone Secret in the beginning and enjoy that guys. And also stay in tune for What If Naruto got his memories sealed away. And also what if Naruto was raised by the Hyuga clan and enjoyed that guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, let us begin this new episode. Begin the intro. So the last time we left off, Uncle was looking over at Naruto, who hadn't moved since he heard the news. Since he returned back, he hadn't moved as he was sitting on the railing. As Sasuke came up back there, as he wondered what was up with the dope, so he asked him. As Naruto turned towards Sasuke, Sasuke didn't know why, but he stepped back. As Naruto told him that we need to talk after this, as he then turned his head back towards the fights. As the matches went on, until Naruto's name was called for the exam. As he was going to face off against Zaku, going down there, Zaku started to tease him, asked him why did he whine like a little bitch back there. As Zaku saw the look on his face and asked him if he lost someone, as he started to mock Naruto, but Naruto then burst out laughing. This guy just sealed his fate, as he need people to realize, especially these kids, that they're nothing up against him. He has been known to take on powerful ninjas even stronger than Orochimaru. Ninjas scare, missing ninjas tremble at the sign of his name back then. He was feared through the elemental nations. The golden blur. People feared his name. It took Jubito, Sasuke, Sakura, Madara, all of them to take him down, and he was by himself. And he still managed to deal severe damage to the Zetsu army before going there, taking on the reanimation, sealing them away. So this guy think, as Naruto moved forward with so much speed, Zaku was outclassed. Zaku tried his best, but none of his attacks worked on Naruto. As Neji activated his Byakugan, he saw what Naruto was doing. Naruto was pouring chakra all through his pores, all over his body. So when Zaku win attack hit, it negated the attack pretty easy. As Naruto started to stomp the hell out of Zaku, Naruto grabbed him and snapped his hand like a twig. Zaku screamed out in pain and agony as Naruto stomped into his back. As Sarutobi saw how brutal Naruto has gotten, even Uncle was a bit worried. As Naruto stomped on him on the ground and flipped him over, he drive both of his swords into Zaku's arms. Zaku screamed out in pain. As Naruto raised his foot, Zaku screamed that he was finished, that he gave up. As Genma had to push Naruto away. As Naruto's foot hit the ground buckled and cracked under the weight. As Zaku just realized his head would have been completely squished if he didn't give up. As Naruto ripped out his blades out of Zaku's arms and started to walk away. As he was announced the winner, it was then he was called to the hospital. He looked over at Kakashi. As Kakashi nodded, Kakashi would be filling in for Naruto to get and see who he was going to fight in the end. As Naruto arrived and Hayate told him that she was going to be fine. She just needs some time to rest. As Naruto decided to go home and get her some clothes. As he headed off, he went down in the basement and then he noticed a small seal on the wall. It was a seal connected to the east, west, north and south. As it was a blood seal. Thinking about it, his father was a Namikaze, he also half Namikaze. So he applied his blood and it opened up, revealing a room where Naruto saw a ton of scrolls and books, all kind of jutsus. And in the center of the room was a scroll. It was a Hiraishin scroll with the jutsu formula inside. As Naruto also saw a picture of his mother and his father, as his father was holding his mother's belly with him inside since he was pregnant. As he decided to go over this later as he went off to visit Ujeo. As he hugged her tight in the hospital, she hugged him back as she told him that she won't leave him despite this gruesome ninja world. As the two of them stayed like that for a moment, Hayate left the room and gave the two of them some time. After that was over, it was close enough time. It took a lot for Naruto to leave, as Yujiro in the end told that she would be fine, seeing that the doctors couldn't make him leave in the first place. Kakashi phoned him earlier and told him that his battle was going to be with Yujito. Later that night, Sasuke was in his apartment as he was going to face off against Gaara of the Sand. Thinking about his situation, he heard a knock on his door. As he went to open it, Naruto stepped inside of his room without even waiting for Sasuke to let him in. As Naruto forced Sasuke to activate his Sharingan. Out of instinct, Sasuke did as Naruto looked into his eyes. Sasuke was then in a feel. He heard growling behind him as he turned around shocked to see Naruto sitting on the top of a giant, large fox with 9 tails swishing behind it. So yeah guys, so it's basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So this will begin this new episode. Sasuke was never so shocked before, as pure surprise, fear was written across his face. He felt like he was going to crap his pants. As he stepped back in shock, hitting his foot on a small boulder, he fell over, trembling. Naruto chuckled as he leaped down from top of Kurama's head. I thought the great Uchiha Sasuke never trembled in fear. As Naruto walked over, seeing the fear on Sasuke's face. The moonlight was bathed in the entire area, giving the place an ominous view. Sasuke did not talk, he just looked behind Naruto to see the giant fox, those red eyes staring at him. As Naruto looked back at Kurama, can you give us a moment, he asked. I guess your appearance is really scaring him. He can't even talk at the moment. Uchiha elite my ass, said Kurama, as he looked at Sasuke. He remembered going up against Madara when he was full. And even when he was angry, pissed off, and glaring at Madara, the man did not waver even once. As Madara and Hoshirama never feared him, even who he is, and how big his name was, and what he was capable of. As Kurama went off, it took Sasuke a minute, as he finally gulped. As Naruto was lying down right near to him, looking up at the sky. He had set up his mindscape wonderful. The star was in the sky, a lot of them, and the moon was bathing its light down on them, the trees, as the brushing cool breeze. What was that? Sasuke said, as he looked at Naruto, still couldn't believe what he just saw. This wasn't an illusion or something like that. He did not know where he was. One minute he was in his apartment and next he was here. Well, that's a 9-tailed fox, said Naruto. What? But how? I thought the 4th Hokage killed it. That Uchiha arrogance, it was gone completely right now out of Sasuke, as he was just left unspeakable to that thing. Well, it can't be killed, said Naruto. Think about it, Sasuke. What are our ability made out of? What? Sasuke asked. Just answer the question, Naruto said. Chakra, Sasuke said. Well, the 9-tailed fox over there is made out of pure chakra. It can't really be killed, it will just be restored. The only way for the 4th Hokage to bring it down was to seal it in a baby. A baby? Sasuke said, as he looked around. You get it, don't you? Yes, I was that baby that he sealed in. Sasuke looked at Naruto. You're telling me, your entire life you had this thing inside of you? Yes, said Naruto. Haven't you ever wondered why the villagers look at me that way? I thought it was just because you always pull those stupid pranks on them. Nah, that's far from it. They downright hate me. For what? I have inside of me. But why? Sasuke asks. Considering you were just on that thing's head, I don't see him posing a threat against you, or even trying to take over your body or something like that. Nah, he's a good guy, said Naruto. But you see, these stupid villagers, they don't know the arts of Fuinjutsu, so they think at any time that he will be released. But enough about that. Let's get to the real reason why you're here. As Naruto turned towards Sasuke completely serious, the aura completely changing. It's about your brother. Sasuke stiffened at that. What about my brother? He asks. Itachi is on a group of S-rank criminals who are hunting down these bijous. What? Yes, they're hunting down people like me. They want to capture me. And they will stop at nothing to get me. What? Sasuke said. Are you deaf? Said Naruto. S-rank criminals. At least 10 of them are coming after me to take what is inside of me. And if they do manage to get it, I'll die. Sasuke was surprised. Well, to more how nonchalant Naruto was talking about his life. Like, he wasn't scared or anything. If he knew that a group of S-rank criminals coming after him, despite his Uchiha superiority, that would be shocking to hear. What are you gonna do? Sasuke asks. Nah, you don't have to worry about that. The reason I told you about that is because of your brother. You see, I believe that he's gonna be the one coming after me, seeing that he was part of this village and knew it the best. So if you want to kill Itachi one day, all you need to do is stay by my side. Sasuke looked at Naruto and didn't say anything. For a while, he then spoke. How do you know this? I just know, said Naruto. I can't really give you that much information yet. But I want to know something, Sasuke. Do you think you're weak, Naruto asked. Of course not, said Sasuke. Then, you don't feel like abandoning the village to get more power? Why would I do that? Sasuke said. Come on, have you never thought about that idea before? A small peace in your mind thinking that you can leave this village and get someone else stronger to train you. Sasuke looked at Naruto as he staggered for a moment. That was the wrong thing to do as Naruto grabbed him roughly by the collar and smashed him into a tree. It was then Sasuke looked up and uttered shock. Naruto's eyes had changed. They were now red with black slits in them. Sasuke, I want you to listen to me good and well. The reason why Orochimaru is after you, he wants to take your Sharingan. And he's gonna use you, offer you all this power and crap, just for you to come to him. I saved you once by not making him put that disgusting mark on your neck. But he's still after you, Sasuke. And he's gonna stop at nothing to get your Sharingan and use you like a pawn. And I want you to listen to this part very closely. If you ever think about betraying this village, going to flee to Orochimaru's side or something like that, I'll kill you without even battering an eye, said Naruto. Do you understand me, Sasuke? Sasuke could only nod nervously, as those eyes were just sending shivers after shiver down his spine. Good, said Naruto as he stepped away from Sasuke. You can grow really strong here. Despite what you think, Kakashi hasn't even teaching you anything yet. And given that he has a Sharingan, he can probably take you on a 3-year or even more than that training trip for you to become stronger, leaving the village and exploring the elemental nations. Well, I think the council would want him to do that for you, just to make sure you stay. You know, you're really kind of popular with the council, but you don't really seem to give a damn about that. Have they ever tried to talk to you before? Sasuke nodded. Yes. About what? Naruto asked. Well, they came to me and told me about my clan status, and that soon in the future I'll have to repopulate the Uchiha clan. And they're always nice to me, and talking encouraging words. That's because they want you to stay here, no matter the cost. So, for you to get stronger is pretty easy. What about all the things, all the scrolls at the Uchiha compound? I haven't been there since what happened. Well, that's gonna change things a lot. When you do go on that training trip with Kakashi, you can just bring them all along. I learned more about your Sharingan. That will ensure that you get stronger. Who knows, I can even help you as well. How can you help me, dope? Sasuke said. Naruto shook his head, that attitude returning once again. Well, that is for future Naruto and Sasuke to worry about. And as you know, this should be a secret between us. Sakura or Kakashi should not know about this, what I've told you, given that this is a S-rank secret. But they wouldn't probably kill you, seeing that you're the last Uchiha and all. How do you know so much? Sasuke asks. Maybe one day in the future I'll tell you, but for now, sorry, I can't, said Naruto. As Naruto snapped his finger, the world around him started to change as Sasuke blinked a few times. It was then Sasuke found himself in his apartment. What? Where did we just go? He asked. Oh, it was my mind, said Naruto. That is why I told you to activate your Sharingan. For you to be able to enter my mind to see and hear what I want to tell you about. So do you understand what I said, Sasuke? If you ever want to one day get your revenge, just stay by my side. He will come. Sasuke looked at Naruto. Well, if it helps. I guess I can do that, Sasuke said, as long as I get to kill him. As Naruto smiled, a sad smile. Sasuke, let me ask you something. How was your brother before the massacre? What? Sasuke said. What do you mean? I mean, did he show any hateful resentment towards you or the clan? Sasuke went silent. Just think about it, Sasuke. Have Itachi ever shown any hatred towards you or the entire clan before? For Uchiha to just lose his mind like that and go mad. I wonder, do I have to worry about you losing your mind as well? Or was there something else? Naruto said as he started to walk off. As he waved behind him. I'll see you soon, Sasuke. Train hard and prepare. That Gaara guy is not an easy opponent, he said. As he left Sasuke's house. Sasuke stood there. What did he mean by how he used to act? As he thought about it now, his brother was always kind and gentle. But it doesn't matter, he killed the entire clan. What does that have to do with anything? Meanwhile, as Naruto was walking down the street, he had to reveal that to Sasuke now. But he wasn't really worried about Orochimaru. That masked guy was still out there. And there was a lot of ways for Sasuke to lose his right way and go down that dark path. But he wasn't really worried about Orochimaru, because the moment he lay eyes on that man, he's going to ensure that he never breathed another breath in this world. He also knew the truth behind the Uchiha massacre from Obito himself when he was wearing that mask. He will not flatly outtell Sasuke that, because then Sasuke will build a rage towards his village. He will nudge him in the direction and make him see with his true eyes soon enough. As Naruto kept on walking until he finally reached his destination, as he looked up and smiled. At the large hotel, Gaara was on the rooftop, just looking at the moon. They would be returning back to the hidden sand tomorrow. Gaara was just staring at the moon, as it bring him calm and peace. He felt the bloodlust, the rage again, when he saw Uzumaki fighting off against that Stone Ninja. How Uzumaki moved so skilled and proficient and ruthless. He was about to kill him. That got Gaara blood pumping. That is the kind of person who he can prove his existence on. As Gaara smiled, you know, staring at the moon like that with that blood-curdling smile on your face, it really makes you look scary. Gaara narrowed his eyes. He was confused, he didn't even sense him one bit. As Naruto was a distance away from Gaara standing there. Uzumaki, you should not sneak up on someone like that. You might die. It's gonna take a lot to kill me, Gaara. And I doubt you can do it. Is that so, Uzumaki? Yeah, because look there. Gaara didn't even have a turn as his son thrust out behind him and grabbed one of Naruto's clones. What are you trying to do, Uzumaki? Have you come here to die and finally make me prove my existence? Nah, nothing like that. Gaara stands shot towards Naruto, who simply stood there as his hand grabbed him. It was then that Gaara narrowed his eyes in surprise, as a hand burst from the tile right underneath him, the tiling of the roof, as a paper was slapped right on his chest. Gaara felt his entire body shook violently by some great force. Even the beast inside of him was affected, as Gaara collapsed over, with the sand falling down, as the two clones poofed away as the real Naruto came up. The molding jutsu. Pretty convenient at this time, said Naruto as he looked at Gaara. There was a seal on Gaara's chest that completely suppressed the Biju inside of him, and put Gaara to sleep as well. Now to get to work, said Naruto as he picked up Gaara and threw him over his shoulder, as he leaped off. Time skip. Gaara didn't know how long it has been, or where he was, as he slowly opened his eyes. He was on some kind of table. Judging from the feeling, it was not a bed or something soft. As he slowly looked around, his eyes were a bit foggy, but he was in a room. It was really dark in here. As he looked around, still not seeing anything, it was then that bright lights turned on, as he had to squint for a bit. "Ah, it seems you're awake, finally." "Who's there?" Gaara said. It was then that Gaara noticed something. The voice in his head. Mother was no longer there. He heard nothing of her. As he wondered what is going on, he then turned his head. As his eyes got really narrowed in rage, to see Naruto over there standing. He was the one that did something to him. Gaara extended his arm, but nothing happened. "Sorry, can't mold in chakra in here because of the seals. I didn't want you to go full psychopath and end up killing me after I did something good for you." "What did you do to me, Uzumaki?" Gaara looked down and realized he wasn't wearing a shirt. "Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're thinking that. I didn't rape you or anything," said Naruto. "I was not implying that, Uzumaki." "Oh yeah, you wouldn't," said Naruto. "Oh, I helped you," Naruto said as he walked over, as Gaara picked up himself. It was then that Gaara noticed a seal on his stomach. The thing was glowing a bit. "What is this?" "A seal to help you. Haven't you realized something, Gaara? You've been asleep the entire time." "What?" "But how?" Gaara said. "Didn't Mother?" "Stop calling him that. He's a dude, you know that?" "I don't know why the Tanuki makes you call him Mother, but that's pretty strange." "What did you do to me, Uzumaki?" "Oh, I helped you. I already told you that. I know that you have been having troubles ever since you were younger, Gaara. Things have been real difficult for you, having to go through so much. You lived a horrible life as a Jinchuriki. But I am here to make sure that from this day on, that horrible life of yours stop. I'm here to make sure that you no longer go down that dark path." As Naruto stepped forward, "You know I'm a Jinchuriki as well." As Gaara looked at him, "That makes us kind of like brothers in a sense. And I'll be damned if I stand by and watch you get hurt anymore, or go through any more suffering. I place a seal on you so the Tanuki could not hurt your mind so much anymore. It cannot give you the influence that it once has. But you're free to use its power as you will. But just don't tap into so much of it, saying that he will try to overrun you and force more out, just make you go crazy. But everything should be fine once everything recedes back into the seal. That seal is not leaking at all, like your previous seal, who was roughly put together." You fixed my seal?" Gaara said. "Yes," said Naruto. "Now you can dream and sleep as much as you want. I know you weren't a psychopath in the first place, Gaara, but your mind was all messed up. Now you can think clearly and do as you please. But before anything, I must give you some grave news." "Well, you didn't really like him so much in her thought, seeing that he put you through hell as well. Your father is dead." Gaara was shocked. "What are you talking about, Uzumaki?" "I know about the invasion, Gaara. I know everything. And you have all been used and tricked, because the real person behind this invasion is Orochimaru. And if we're gonna stop him, Gaara, I need you to work with me." Gaara looked at Naruto curiously. There was a lot of things to process. His seal was changed. Mother was no longer talking to him. For a very long time, in years, his mind felt free, uncorrupted, untainted. He felt completely free. Time skip. 3 days later, Sasuke jumped out of the way, dodging several kunais and shurikens as he landed. Kakashi flashed behind him as Sasuke ducked under the kick, but Kakashi twisted his foot and came down, hitting Sasuke in the shoulder. As he kicked Sasuke away to the side, Sasuke flipped in mid-air and landed as he clenched his fist. "We need to work on your speed, Sasuke. If you're gonna beat that Gaara guy's San, you need to increase your speed more than anything." "I know that," Sasuke said, as Sasuke still couldn't believe what he heard 3 days ago. He saw Naruto the next morning and Naruto told him that he would be in touch and told him just go along with Kakashi. As if this was really true, he now understood why they all looked at Naruto with such a hateful fashion, such a hateful look. And his brother was going to be coming after him. "Kakashi," said Sasuke, "stop holding back." "What do you mean, Sasuke?" Kakashi asked. "I really need you to train me. If I'm ever going to become stronger, to do what I need to do, I must become as strong as possible." So you want me to take off the kid restraint? Asked Kakashi. Yes. Whatever it takes. Make me stronger. Meanwhile, at Kumo, the Raikage looked at his 4 genins in the room. He knew that Yujito would pass, no matter what, because she was just there for a show. Saying that they wanted the daimyos to see how powerful Kumo forces were. As she was far above genin rank, she was at least a jonin rank right now. But they wanted to show the other daimyos and increase the lightning daimyos fun for them to see how strong Kumo ninjas were. What do you have to say for yourself, Amoy? Asked the Raikage. The Raikage prided himself on strength and power. As Amoy's sweat dropped, well, see, my opponent was really strong, and he was just too much for me to handle. It doesn't matter otherwise, said the Raikage. The 3 of you have successfully made it in the Chunin exams. I'll be coming to watch you in the finals. I know the 3 of you will make me proud, he said, a smile on his face. As the 3 of them felt happy on hearing that, the Raikage worshipping them that way, as Yujito was happy as well. The Raikage was always nice to her. Seeing that she was a Jinchuriki, she was by his side a lot, along with his brother B. And she couldn't even stand B most of the time, because of his damn rapping. Have you guys seen anything worthy of reporting on Konoha? Well, we did find out who the Jinchuriki was. The Raikage narrowed his eyes. You mean you find the 9-tailed host? Yes. He's a kid named Naruto Uzumaki, said Samui. He has blonde hair and blue eyes. I must say he's quite skilled, but he seemed to be holding back. We haven't seen the full extent of his power yet. As the Raikage nodded as he looked over at Yujito. Do you think you can take him? He asked. Well, if he doesn't know how to control his full Bichu power, yes, I can take him. But if he does... No, I don't think so, the Raikage said. The 9-tailed is one of the hardest Bijus, and one of the most wildest. I don't think that it will allow a boy like that to just control him that way, and in that easy manner. I mean, look at B. It took B a while to control Haxabi. I know the both of them are friends. But what if the both of them are friends? Asked Amoy. And what if Yujito end up fighting him? And Karu slapped him right in the head. Be quiet. We're not here to hear one of your rants. As he simply went silent. As the Raikage simply nodded. His genins had made it, 3 of them at least. As they were going to show the full might of Kumo at the finals of Chunin exams to show the other daimyos that Kumo was not anything to be trifled with, and that was going to bring up the politics for them to get more missions, and the lightning daimyo will come through with that as well. Meanwhile, at the hidden sand, the elders are coming into the conference room, along with Baki. Their Kazekage has went out with 4 guards, as he was having a meeting with the snake Orochimaru. Baki didn't know why, but recently Kazekage has been acting rather strange. But he felt like the man was tense about the upcoming invasion and worried about how Konoha would strike back. But with this surprise attack and their 2 teams, Baki was sure that they could overpower Konoha. But that boy, as he remembers seeing that boy in the preliminary exams, that boy showing off that demonic power, he was a 9-tailed Jinchuriki. If that boy was able to manifest that power, they would be crushed if he was able to take them on like that. Lady Chiyo walked into the room. Who called this meeting and why so urgent, she said, as her brother was with her as well, and also a few other sand ninjas. Temari, Kankuro came into the room as well, as Gaara was already there. Most of the Sand Council members looked at Gaara. Temari looked at her brother. Something was different about him. Since they've got here, he hardly said anything, but she felt that warmth. It was strange, radiating off of him. She didn't feel anger or rage. As Kankuro was thinking the same thing. What changed in Gaara? They didn't hear him talking about killing anyone, or that bloodlusting feeling. They did not feel any of that. So Chiyo said, as she looked at Baki, is it the Kazekage? Who called this meeting? You know, with me, just appearing like this, everyone was set on guard as they tensed when Naruto pulled himself from Gaara's shadow. As he got to his feet, Temari and Kankuro wondering what the hell he's doing here. You'd all think that I'm here to assassinate you with the way I do this. It seems like you truly got in without being detected, not even once, said Gaara. I told you it would work, said Naruto. Temari and Conqueror were confused as hell. What was going on? Why was Gaara talking to him so casually and so peacefully? What the? It was then Naruto was surrounded, and Gaara was with him, so the both of them were surrounded by the sand ninjas that were there, just to protect the elders. Come on, we don't need to do this right now, said Naruto, as he looked over at Baki. Oh, you haven't told them who I am? 3 days. I wonder why you're keeping it to yourself. Well, you wouldn't be in a rush since that you just got here. It was quite a distance from the leaf to the sand. So he said, it's nice to meet all of you, he said, a smile on his face, looking around the elders. Who are you, boy? Asked Chiyo. The name is Naruto Uzumaki. Don't worry, you probably won't heard of me, since I'm still a kid and all that. So don't bother diving into your memories, because that would take a long time, given how old you are. You should be more respectful to your elders, boy. You don't know what they can do to you. Stepping into our village like this, wearing that headband of yours. Why would I be afraid? I mean, we are allies, right? Or are you guys planning on, well, invading us? Everyone in the room tensed as they all knew about the invasion. As the ninjas narrowed their eyes at Naruto Dangerous as they looked at Baki. If this got out. If this. Baki made a hand signal as the ninjas pulled their weapons. But Sand grabbed all of them, wrapping them up tight. Gaara, what are you doing? Baki asked. Be quiet, Gaara said, as he looked at Baki. He's betraying us, one of the council members said. He's doing none of his sorts. As Temari and Conqueror were standing there utterly shocked, not knowing what is going on. I'm afraid to inform all of you, but your Kazekage is dead. Temari blinked a few times. What? I'm sorry, said Naruto, as he looked at Conqueror and Temari. He died. He was killed by the very man that you're planning this invasion with, Orochimaru. I already know everything. Don't worry, it wasn't Gaara that told me. I just have my ways like that. How do you know of this, boy? Asked Lady Chiyo. It would be hard for you to believe me, right? Well, it doesn't matter. I can't tell you how I know. But just believe me when I say that your Kazekage is dead. Think about it. Hasn't he been acting a bit strange these past few days? Or week? Something like that? Just think about it. Everyone in the room, despite looking at the Konoha ninja, was thinking the same thing. The Kazekage has been acting strange, barely showing his face, and barely talking to any of them. He hasn't even talked to Temari or Conqueror for a long while now. It was strange to say at least. Why should we trust you when you won't even tell us anything or any information how you got this information? You know, you guys should be begging me not to report this back to my Hokage, you know that. Chiyo scoffed at him. You know you're one quite arrogant boy to step foot in here, and knowing of this, who say that we don't try to kill you? Oh, you see, there's something that Baki didn't tell you. Baki, why don't you go ahead and tell them? Tell us what, Chiyo asked. Yes, what is going on, said a man named Aizo, as he was one of the elders as well. This boy, said Baki. He's a 9-tailed Jinchuriki host. Many gasps were heard as Naruto looked at them. So there's 2 things that can come out of this. If you try to kill me, I can unleash a 9 tails upon your village and see how you like it when someone walk into your village and betray it, even when you're allied with them. Or if you manage to somehow kill me, there would be a note sent to my Hokage informing him of everything. And what do you think will happen then? Do you really think with all your might that the sand can really stand up to Konoha? As all of them narrowed their eyes at him. What do you want, said Baki. As I told you, your Kazekage is dead. Orochimaru has been disguising himself as a man for a long time now. He's planning on using your village like a pawn and throw you away once this is all over. Think about it. Do you really think the combined force of a newly villaged sand can take Konoha down? That newly villaged stone and the sand, do you really think they can take Konoha down, even if it was a surprise attack, and now me knowing about it make it even more difficult. The only thing that Orochimaru wants is Sir to be dead, and he's gonna use anything in his path to get that dream accomplished. So you have to think to yourself, people, do you really want to enter into a war that you cannot stop? And not to mention, if this still happens, there will be grave repercussions. What do you mean? Said Ebisu, Chiyo's brother, as he looked at Naruto. Do you really think that Konoha will stand down after you attack them? No, they will come back here full force and crush you. And also there are some people in Konoha who I consider my friend, and especially a little ramen shack, those people that I love so much. I would be the one coming here myself to unleash hell upon this village. As he looked around at all of them dangerously, daring anything to say otherwise. So what's it gonna be, Naruto asked, as he looked around at all of them. Chiyo stepped forward. How can we trust that you won't go against your word and report this to Hokage? Well, I won't go against mine if you don't tell Hokage that I was here. And why is that, Chiyo asked. I'd rather have my name out of this, said Naruto. And why, Chiyo asked. You know, you asked a lot of questions for an old woman. Chiyo narrowed her eyes. And you thought big for a peep squeak, she said. Huh, wicked comeback, old lady. But yes, that is my agreement. Just keep my name out of all of this, and I won't say a single thing. Why should we trust a foreign ninja who know that we're about to attack his village? Said Yoe, another man in the room. You know what? You shouldn't, Naruto said. And for reasons I don't care. You were the one that was going to start a war that you could not win. So you should be grateful. You people should understand that I'm here, giving you a courtesy, a way out of this. Do you want hell to be unleashed on your village, Naruto asked? It seems like you people don't understand what messed up situation you have put yourself in, and I'm here to help you. So I advise that you all shut the hell up and listen to me. When the attack begins, I mean, it's still gonna happen. Your sand forces are all gonna turn against the sound forces, crushing them out of the outer wall. And you are going to show Konoha that you are allies same way, through thick and thin. That will gain more trust between the village, even though you almost put yourself in deep crap. But once you show them all that you are standing by their side in the invasion, I assure you Konoha will not find out about this treachery that you had. And that's all I came here to say. Orochimaru is still acting as your Kazekage. He's probably out right now. I assure all of you, do not even try to find out if Orochimaru is impersonating your Kazekage, because the moment one of you know he's gonna kill you without a second thought. But just watch his behavior. Normal things. He barely even talks to any of you anymore. The only time he's probably gonna talk to any of you is when he's gonna tell you that the plan's about to begin. And for another thing, have any of you been assigned to the patrol of the Kazekage guard? No. He said that he already has someone, well, people pick, said Baki. One more reason for you to see that's not your Kazekage. That's Orochimaru in disguise. Well, I have things to do, people to meet, people to see. So I'll be taking my leave now. As he started to walk away, that's it, one of the members asked. Oh yeah, that's it. I should be expecting a thanks, but I don't need it. Oh yeah, Chiyo, that seal you placed on Gaara. Were you in some kind of rush or something? You're lucky that someone is more experienced at seal to fix it. What, said Lady Chiyo. As Naruto looked over at Gaara. See ya, Gaara, he said as he started to walk off. Gaara released the trapped ninjas that were still in the sand. Uzumaki is telling the truth. Father is really dead. Gaara said without a single inch of remorse. Orochimaru is planning on using us. And if he does, what is left of this village when it's over is not gonna be much of a village. Can you kids excuse us? We need to talk about this, said Chiyo. As she looked at the other council members in the room who nodded. As the trio left the room, Baki sighed as they left. Baki, what do you think of this whole situation? Well, if this really is the truth, if that kid keep his word, then we won't have any problem against Konoha. But if he doesn't, we are Kazekage-less right now. This will be a huge problem. As Baki looked around, but for Gaara to trust him so easily, it's hard to accept that Gaara would trust someone so easily. So what should we do then? Another council member asked. As Chiyo Sayashi looked around, there was only one thing to do. Moments later, as Naruto was going through the village, he took off his headband to not draw so much suspicion from the ninjas here, but they were still looking at him. Did these people really know everyone here? No, they couldn't. He could sense that many ninjas were following him, making sure that he exit the village. As he went into the heart of the crowd, walking in the peaceless, they saw him exit the other way. As they kept on trailing him, the real Naruto watched as they trailed him off. As he simply smirked, they head after his clone. Meanwhile, Temari was walking on the road by herself as she was conflicted with so many things that happened. Her father was dead. Well, things weren't so good between them, seeing that she wasn't really in favor of her father. He always treated Gaara like crap, even when they begged him to stop. He didn't even really show enough emotions towards them. He always treated them like crap as well, always telling them that everything must come before what they do. They must always put the village first. As much as they love their village, he did not put them in anywhere near the village safety or anywhere near the village happiness. He always take everything above their heads. But another part of her heart was a bit sad, because why did she feel this way? She cursed. She tried to betray him and betray his village, and now he knew. Was he gonna look at her or not talk to her when they returned to the finals? Why did she even care? Things were really bad right now. She should be thinking about her own village. So why should she? She was suddenly grabbed and pulled in an alley. Her mouth was covered. As she looked at those eyes, she quickly turned her head down, not wanting to face him. What are you doing here? She said as he removed his hand. I thought you had left the village. But he said nothing, and that made her worry even more. He was so angry he wasn't even speaking to her. So why did he bring her around here? What do you want? She asked, trying to stern herself. What was she doing? She was not some idiot fan girl to flaunt over someone. She was a serious kunoichi. Tell me, what do you want? She asked as she looked up. Finally, you look at me, he said. As she had to look at him strangely because he was just looking at her with that same charming smile. You know, I'm quite upset. As she looked at him, we had to follow orders, she said. Despite everything, village must come first. I know that. But when the invasion started, what if I had died? You wouldn't have. You have that thing inside of you as well. One of them at least. It would have helped you. But what if I had died? Would you have really stand back and just let me die? And if it came up to it, would you really fight me? And killed me, he asked. We didn't have to fight, she said. We could have just leave each other be. And what if your village was successful and destroyed Konoha? Where would I go? Would I have to be on the run from the sun? Would you guys capture me and torture me, and then try to remove the beast from me? Temari didn't know what to say as she looked down. Why should she care? She wondered to herself. She looked up as she was about to say that, but she just stopped. The words wouldn't come out of her mouth. I'm so angry now, you know what I want to do? As she sterned herself, preparing for anything. Was he planning on fighting her? He then went down, low to her ear, as she was going to reach for kunai, but she stopped as he spoke. I want to turn you around right here and brace you up against this wall and ravish you over and over until you're dripping wet, he said. She felt a shiver went down her spine. Why was he acting this way now? Wasn't he angry? Wasn't he just saying how upset he was at first? As she couldn't help the blush that spread across her face. She then felt a hand grasp her in her side. But she tried to push his hand away, but he held on to her firm. As he didn't look back at her. But it's broad daylight, he said. We can't do that in a kind of place like this. How about you lead me to your house? What? I'm not gonna do that with you, she said. We barely even know each other. As Naruto smiled, Perhaps you're right, he said. But you still owe me. We're going to attack my village. You know, that can really hurt someone's heart. Oh, I know. Why don't you repay me? How? She asks. Oh, it's simple. You go like this, as he grabbed her hand and placed her on his back, and I go like this, as he placed a hand on her back. Before she knew, she was pulled straight into him, as she hit against his chest that was firm. Yes, rather firm and surprising. As his lips made contact with hers. He didn't kiss her, just brushed his lip against her. She wanted it though, as she didn't know why, but she wanted him to kiss her. But he didn't do it, he just brushed his lip against hers once more. So, what do you say you repay me? How? She asked, as she could feel his breath. She didn't know what take over her, but she couldn't stop herself at the moment. What the hell was going on with her? But she had to ask him something. What did you do to my brother? Huh? We're in this position and you're talking about your brother, Naruto said. But I guess you would be curious. Don't worry, I fixed him. What do you mean you fixed him? Well, he slept. But he can't, said Temari, because... Don't worry, said Naruto. I told you I fixed him. There will be no more influence from that damn Tanuki. I suggest you try to get to know him now. What do you mean, she asks. Well, his mind was always corrupted. There was always his voice whispering in his ears. So I would suggest you try to talk to him now. And see if you can find a better way to understand him. And him to do the same for you. So, he's gonna be acting normal from now on? Well, as normal as Gaara can be, but yes. Temari was shocked. Why was he doing all of this? First he gave them a way out of this situation. And then next, he helped Gaara. As she looked at him. So, we're in this position now. What do you want? He asked. What do I want? She said. As Naruto went closer to her, again she felt his hot breath on her. I'm gonna ask you again, he said. What do you want? He was teasing her, he was doing it on purpose. As he went down low to her ear, she then felt him lick her ear. That sent another shiver down her spine. As she couldn't take it anymore, she wanted to kiss him so bad. As he pulled back his face, the moment he did that, she planted a kiss on his lips. She didn't know what take over her in this moment, but it was just that feeling to kiss him. It was overriding all of her other senses. And it was a kiss. A passionate kiss. That made her entire body feel like it was melting. Over and over again. Until he broke away. She moved forward. As he stepped back. As he smiled at her. Getting a bit jumpy there, he said. Stop teasing me, she said. As Naruto smiled at her. I'll make you wait, he said to her. Wait? Yeah. Think about me. Think about that kiss that we just had. Think about me. So when you come back for the finals of Chunin exams, you will see me. And then you can tell me what you actually want. As he then stepped forward, he went to her ear. Just think about that kiss. Oh, my hands, feel around your body, he said. The shiver that went down your spine. And then you can tell me what you actually want. And with that, Naruto vanished in leaf petals. Temari took in several deep breaths as she was huffing and puffing. She did not know what take over her a minute ago, but her entire body felt like it was just hit with a bolt of lightning. As this was the first time she was feeling this way, it completely cleared her mind of anything else that just went on. What is wrong with her? She shouldn't be so caught up with things like this. She was like already forgetting what just happened a minute ago. Time skip. Naruto finally returned back to Konoha. As it took a couple of hours, the reason being, he infused his legs with the Kyuubi's chakra running all the way. With his large reserves, Naruto barely had to stop. Well, he didn't even stop at all. And plus, with Naruto increased speed, yeah, it only took him a couple of hours to return back to Konoha at full speed, not traveling with anyone and going all out. It took only hours. It would have taken 72 if he was walking normally. Yes, because that is how long a trip takes. As a merchant was entering Konoha, the man was entering with his family. As he stepped out of his cart, he was currently at the gates as he was showing them the paperwork. As they returned back his papers as he went inside of the village. The man and his family did not notice when Naruto separated from his shadow and came back into the village without being detected. As he brought his hands together, as all of the memories from his blood clone rushed back into him. Well, nothing exciting really happened. As Naruto went off, yeah, he was a bit exhausted from all that. As, from his compelled talk in the situation, they will have to make the right choice. Yeah, they have to, seeing that the tables were turned against them. And even if they decide to fight now, they did not know if Konoha would be ready for them. That is why they could not kill him or do anything to him right there, given that he said that he had a message to give to Sarutobi, that if they try anything, it would be sent straight to the Hokage. And given that a Jinchuriki is one of the precious things in a military armed force, Konoha will waste no time coming here and crushing them to get back their 9-tailed Jinchuriki. As Naruto went off, just to relax. A week later, Naruto hasn't been doing anything really hectic, given that he can completely annihilate all of the Chunins in this exam by himself. It will take longer if Gaara and Yujito went their Bichu form, but he was confident with the Kyuubi's power and the shape that he was in now and the power that he has accumulated over, well, the past few months that he's been here. Yes, he could handle any one of them. And also, he has been working on his father's studies. He saw some things. He never knew that his father was so smart, as his father was experiments with new kind of different formulas, lightning mixing away with wind to create some destructive technique that Naruto didn't even dream of. But his father would never able to complete them. But he has the mindset, he has the determination, and he has the willingness to do it. And also the Harajuku was coming along great. Naruto was great at seals, judging from all this seal work that he has been doing so far. So he was able to break down the Harajuku. But he was going to add it in formula. But he will have to work on it though. He didn't want to accidentally rip himself apart by trying to teleport into one place and going into another. So yeah, it will take some more work to be done. But it has to be ready by the finals. As he came up with the idea to use the Harajuku to formulate his plan even better, it will work even well. As Naruto decided to head to the hot springs, just to relax. Kakashi had offered to give him to another sensei, or make another sensei train him, but Naruto turned him down. He doesn't really need anyone. He hasn't even seen Sasuke, Kakashi was off with him. He has seen Lee training with Guy, as he was getting him ready for the upcoming Chunin exams. But right now Naruto was just relaxing. As he went to the hot springs, placed on his towel, as he just plopped down into the water. No one was really here as he looked around, so he had the place all to himself. It would be just glorious if he had at least 10 girls all lying over naked, rubbing their body against his. Man, he really missed sex. Oh yeah, and he was still a virgin. He'll have to do something about that very soon. As he leaned his head back, Yujiro was out of the hospital and she has to take it easy. No Anfu worked for quite a while, but he was happy that she was safe. But his soul would not rest, or give him any rest until he killed Orochimaru. So yeah, he has to do that very soon. He then heard a giggle, as he smiled. Flashes then went through his mind as he clenched his fist tight underwater, remembering when he heard of Jiraiya's death. As Naruto got out of the water, meanwhile Jiraiya was giggling to himself, as he was scribbling away in a notepad and looking back up, looking through the hole that he carved into the wall. He then heard a shout. "Excuse me, what the hell do you think you're doing?" As he turned to see a Jonin of Konoha. The man was wearing black glasses, his headband tied around his head, and looking at Jiraiya with a pissed off look on his face. So lecherous for you to be peeping at the woman hot spring. This shall not go unpunished. Jiraiya was just about to do something, but then the man was hit in the back of the neck. Jiraiya was surprised that this sensei, well, a Jonin he could see, did not sense that kid. Jiraiya eyes narrowed a bit when he noticed a kid. His long blonde hair, those blue eyes, and those marks. So this is him, Jiraiya said. As Sarutobi had sent back in his letter to Jiraiya about Naruto growth and about his proficiency with seals, him creating a seal that can literally make someone tell them his deepest and darkest desire within. But he had to act ignorant of that fact and act like he doesn't know the kid. Knocking out your fellow Konoha Shinobi. You know that's not a good thing, said Jiraiya. I mean I had to, said Naruto. He was just going to break your concentration. Jiraiya looked at Naruto strangely. I mean, for you to be examining those beautiful, luscious bodies of those girls, and he was just going to interrupt you. I couldn't let that happen. A grin came on Jiraiya's face. Was this kid like him? But guys, we end this episode right here. If you want the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, turn the bell notifications to be posted, and also go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto. Learn the clone secret in the beginning, and stay in tune for What If Naruto got his memory sealed away. But I'm off now. Peace.